Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a space where I love talking about self-love, skincare and makeup. I wanted to recreate this stunning Selena Gomez look that Hung Wango created for a rare beauty campaign. Here's a sneak peek of how the look turned out. If you want to see how I recreated this, then please keep on watching. I'm starting off with an absolutely bare face. I only have my skincare on. I wanted to start priming my lips, so I'm using the Atoderm Bioderma lip balm, which I find extremely effective to nourish the lips. Next on to eyes first, I'm using my trusted Fenty Beauty eye primer and blending the product all across my eyes on both my eyes. Next, it's time for eyeshadow. I'm using the Master Mattes Eye Palette by Makeup by Mario. This is a stunning, trusted eyeshadow palette with wonderful neutrals. I'm using that particular shade, which I think works closest to my skin tone, and I'm just going simple, using a finger to apply the product all across my eyelid. If you notice, it makes an extremely subtle, almost unnoticeable difference, but I do find that it gives my eyes a bit of definition and depth. The liner, I'm using the MAC Brush Black Liner and going in small strokes across my eyelid to give it more definition. Usually I go thicker with my liner, but in the spirit of recreating Selena's look, I am actually going for a much more thinner line than what I'm used to. It's important to work in sections and take your time because it's easy to get this step wrong. I'm doing the same thing on my other eye. I don't know if this happens with you, but this always happens with me, wherein almost never get the angle on the other eye. And especially when I'm filming, it's almost like I always make it worse. But today, that's why I'm going really slow, really measured, and doing my best to make sure the angle and the thickness is the same as my first eye. You want to keep looking up and down across different angles to sort of see whether the eyeliners are congruent on both sides. You won't always get it perfect, but it's important to just keep checking and correcting as and when you're creating this sort of a winged eye look. For my waterline, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Duo Liner in the shade Copper Charge. Whenever I'm doing a wing look, I love using a lighter shade on my waterline to open the eyes up further. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Color Chameleon just to highlight the inner portion of my eye to give it a lot more depth. Now for my base, I'm using the Dolce & Gabbana Secret Veil Primer. I find this is quite a cooling, effective primer. It does leave a bit of white cast, but if you rub well enough, it really gives you a primed, smooth, even base to which your foundation can adhere to really well. Foundation, I'm using the Estee Lauder Double Foundation in the shade 3W2 Cashew. It's a liquid foundation that I'm dotting all over my face. For liquid foundation, I've decided to start using sponges rather than brushes. And I'm using a beauty sponge, dampening that with the MAC Prep and Prime Fix Spray, and just going all over my face in tapping motions or dabbing motions. You don't want to swipe it because that runs the risk of getting more product on your sponge than in the face, and you just want to dab it, bit by bit, to kind of ensure that you have an even foundation. To set the base, I'm using a powder foundation from MAC. This is the Studio Fix Plus foundation in the shade NC42. I'm using a foundation brush, swirling it in the product, and then spreading it all across my face. This product has quite a deep pan in it, so it's a little difficult for me to collect the product on the brush. That's why you see me going in multiple times with multiple swirls. To bring a bit of lightness under my eyes, I'm using the YSL Touche Eclat in the shade 5. I'm dabbing the product under my eyes, and then I go in with a concealer brush to blend that product in. You don't want to use swiping motions, but you still want to use tapping motions. Now to set this in place, I am using the Pat McGrath Under Eye Blurring Powder in the shade Medium. And this is such a finely milled light powder. You can see the kickback whenever I use it, and I think this works very well to set it in place. You can see the blurring effect between both sides once I just used it. Now for contouring, I'm going in with the Huda Beauty Cream Bronzer in the shade Medium, and this looks so chocolatey and lush. I almost don't want to use it. And you're taking a bit of it on my angle contour brush and just sweeping it from the sides of my face onto the midpoint of my jaw. This is the first time I'm using this product, so I'm a little worried that I was a bit too heavy handed. Then I'm just going in with the same blending sponge that I used earlier for my foundation and just pressing it in to blend it out. And you can see it blends out so beautifully. It was literally too simple, and but once I have blended it out, it does make quite a subtle difference in terms of how angled my face is, right? So I really think this product is quite a win. It's so easy to use, it's so easy to manipulate. I'm using the same product on my jawline to kind of make it look more chiseled, and you will see me going in with a sponge again to kind of blend it all out. Brows, I'm using the Benefit Gimme Brow Plus in the shade number 5, and this is such an easy to use brow product. I just need to use this product and brush it through my eyebrows a couple of times to give my brows definition. I realized I didn't contour my nose enough, so I'm just going in with the Huda Beauty Contour and the Pat McGrath Finishing Powder. Now for lips, I'm using the Huda Beauty lip liner in the shade Cheerleader. I wanted to go for that bright red lip. And given that the lips were a focal point of this look, I did take my time to really line my lips in the way I wanted to emphasize them. To fill in the lips, since this was part of the Rare Beauty campaign, I thought it only fitting to use a Rare Beauty liquid lip color. I'm using the shade Inspire, which is this iconic bright tomato red all over my lips. Mascara, I'm using the Lancome Idol mascara, and it does a good job of lengthening my lashes, thickening them, and also giving me a fluttery look. I do like this as a mascara. And there you have the finished look. I am so scatterbrained, I completely forgot to film the outro of this video in this final look. So I'm going to make do with some pictures that I took much later after I filmed this look to just show you how the final look turned out. How do you think I did? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you've stuck here till the very end, I would love it if you would consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. Thanks a lot. Bye.